Welcome to the WealthGenius Podcast. The WealthGenius Podcast. Strategies for multifamily real estate investing, mindset, community, success. The WealthGenius Podcast with your host, the Godfather of Real Estate, Alfonso Cuadra, who has expansive experience in business and massive success as a real estate investor. The WealthGenius Podcast. Let's dive into today's episode.
WealthGenius Podcast. This is a family reunion.
Yes.
The Godfather is here, and the little Godfather is here, by the way. We're all here together once again. This was going to be a special one for me because, you know, when we started WealthGenius, I don't know if I could even imagine where we're at today, you know. And you guys took a leap of faith at the very beginning, and you were member number one, member number two. Not because of anything, it's just how I put people into the inner circle, you know. But let's start with Patrice. Maybe introduce yourself, kind of where you are with your investing, and, you know, let's start there.
So I'm member number one back in 2018. It can never be taken away. So
You got that.
I got that.
You're going to get the plaque.
Yeah, so my kids and grandkids will say, you know, well, genius. You know, Daddy was the first member, so I'm super proud of it. Super proud of how we've grown and expanded. I've grown myself, and thanks to you for offering this opportunity to us to kind of grow, kind of expand our minds, because before that, I was just focusing on the onesies and twosies, so single-family homes, duplexes, but now you've created this community of quality people, and it starts with the leader, and it bleeds into the organization. You've also given us the opportunity to give back, to become coaches and impart our education, experience, just to help people achieve their real estate goals and dreams, just like you did to ourselves.
I hear you're the second best dressed in real estate. Is that true?
You're wrong. I'm the best dressed.
Who's number one?
Luis.
Yes, sir.
Not even with WealthGenius that started in 2018, but we connected way before that.
Back.
Yeah, way back. And we met at a Bob Proctor event.
So first of all, Bob Proctor, and I was like really pumped. I was like, I'm gonna meet the guy from The Secret, you know.
Yeah.
And I met him, and I was like kind of disappointed because he wasn't as like excited, you know.
Well, he was getting an age, right?
He was getting an age, right?
Yeah.
And I saw you there, and I was just like, oh yeah, hey man, cool. I was so blinded, like starstruck by Bob, that I didn't really pay you as much attention as I should have. And it wasn't until I was on the show with you, you know, it should have been my wife, but like you said, there was an issue, so I filled in, and then it was kind of like that seed got like watered. A lot of the things that we talked about are coming about.
Yeah. And so you came to a few of my events, right? And, you know, like you kind of, one day you invited me to your house, and, you know, and all these things, like kind of like, it was very organic, right? And then I invited you to this real estate event, a private event. You know, it's like the Illuminati. Like you can't tell anybody. You know what I mean? Like
talk about
Only my idea was like, you know, I was on big stages, right? And my idea was, well, I miss coaching. I miss having hands on people. I miss, you know, like guiding people and seeing their whole journey from start to finish. And so I reached out to like friends and family, like just my immediate community, to do the first event at the Holiday Inn in Canada, right? Not the big room, the small room. I can't remember how many people we had. I want to say 30 or 20 or 30 people. I can't remember.
Like that.
So what are you thinking at this point? Like this guy, right? With you, Patrice, we knew each other like from way back from the store and everything. But like now I'm inviting you to this event. What are you thinking?
I was hesitant. I was hesitant. My wife and I had bought a couple of condos before that, you know, a few years back, and we didn't do the underwriting. We didn't do the process. We didn't do anything, and these things were negative performing. We sold them. We liquidated them just to kind of like stop the bleeding, and I felt really kind of crappy about myself. Really, I felt like a failure in real estate, and I didn't want to come to the event. And my wife said, "What do you have to lose? It's your good friend."
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, you're right. Like, what do I have to lose? You know, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
And it was 3 days that, man, that third day was pretty emotional.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I almost lost.
Yeah.
Well, I felt it, you know.
I feel that it's emotional for a lot of people. People are looking for change. People are looking for something. I know for sure people need a tribe. I mean, everybody needs a tribe, that sense of community. And when people find it, it's almost too good to be true. And it could lead people to some very emotional places, you know? What about you?
I remember we had connected before that, but I was already doing some coaching with someone else, and then you said, okay, I'll reconnect, and then you finally invited me in 2018. But I was also skeptical because I had made a lot of mistakes in real estate. But when I got there, you just started speaking, and I'm like, this is the place to be. This is what I was looking for.
Let's talk about that. You had a duplex?
Yes.
So what happened?
Well, first of all, it was overpriced. I tried to sell and flip and all that. That didn't work out. It was negative performing $600, and I thought, well, nothing was wrong, you know, until I spoke to you about it, and you're like, what are you doing? This is not how you do real
Well,
estate.
you know, a lot of people are sitting there with negative performing properties,
Yeah.
and some of the excuses are, oh, it's like an RSP contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, or I pay less taxes. You don't want to make money in real estate because you're going to pay more taxes. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell are these people talking about? So I think that's where you were.
That's where I was. And then you talked about, you went around the room asking people what they wanted to do. And I remember you saying that you were going to create 20 millionaires. And I remember saying, I'm going to be one of them. And I also said, I wanted to be on stage just like you. And here we are today. So it's been quite a great journey.
You know what? When I hear just your story inspires me to keep going, right? I love that. You were doing the bow ties. You were doing events. I know that your daughter has a business as well. So I'm like, this family is an entrepreneurial family. And so you were searching for something as well. So when was that moment? Well, first of all, before that, like, have you always been entrepreneurial?
No, especially in coming from my community or family, they take a lot of pride in education. My dad was one of the top performers at school, but the leadership role that was given to me was passed on by my father when he passed away. And I just felt that I needed to take the leap and step into that role. So that's really why WealthGenius was the right platform to be able to develop those skills more further and just help other people become leaders as well.
You know, I remember we worked in that duplex, but what was that moment for you that you said to yourself, whoa, like, this is the path. This is all I should be doing with my time?
It was when you described how to do real estate the right way, because before that, I didn't really believe it. But when you told us to focus on the multifamily, and kind of crushed my heart when you said the single family is not a good investment, because I thought I was doing well. So that's when I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. I was doing other boot camps, but it was more US based. It didn't really apply to what we were doing here in Canada.
Yeah.
And you just spoke about generational wealth, and that's important, especially in my community. I'm just here to build something else for not just myself, but future generations.
Yeah, so you're right. It starts with the family, right?
Yeah.
It starts with how you're raised, and we hope that, you know, people can wake up and, you know, change the cycle, right? And in my family, it's like a cycle of poverty, of not knowing, not understanding, and I was brought up with really good values. At the same time, no one taught me about business, no one taught me about leadership, no one taught me about managing my credit. So with our students, what are some of the challenges you see, you know, not just with individual students, but even with the industry? Like, what is there, like, what's kind of the roadblock for some of our students?
Well, a lot of them come with some of those intergenerational brainwashings, and they don't believe they could do it, or they don't believe they deserve it. Like, even making an investment to be part of this community, they might be able to afford it, they might not, but if they can afford it, sometimes they think, well, I don't think I deserve it.
So they sabotage, self-sabotage.
It's a self-sabotage. It's almost like they keep hitting the wall and bouncing off the wall. Some people break through and eventually take that leap, but a lot of people have those limiting beliefs. I think a lot of students come with limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
I see students coming from other organizations that focus in other worlds or other niches of real estate.
Yeah.
And they try to recreate and redo the same things over and over again. They always end up reverting back to what they're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when they break through and sense that, hey, this is kind of similar to what I was doing before, maybe a little bit simpler, and it's got a lot more rewards.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes it takes time for the students to like experience it.
Yeah.
For me, I see is the shiny object syndrome. So jumping to the next cool thing. I've done it myself. Even starting, I took a stock trading course. I took an immigration consultant course. Just jumping into the next thing, rather than focusing on your goals. So I see a lot of that. So you just need to bring them back to what are their goals. What you're about to be doing, is this in alignment with the goals that you had set out? So a lot of people suffer from that. They just want to jump into the next cool thing without wanting to see things through.
What do you like the most about coaching?
It's a feeling for me. It's a feeling that I can control my time. It's a feeling that I impart my knowledge and my feeling on other people. And it energizes me, man. Sometimes I'm tired and I'll get on a call and I'll be like fired up.
I know what you feel like. Right? Like we just went through this 2-day boot camp. This morning I was like, I want to be efficient with my time, so I'm doing a whole bunch of interviews in one day. And I came in here this morning, I'm like, and then boom, the second the camera was on, I was like, hello, what's going on? I was here, little Godfather was here, everybody was here. So I definitely know that I feed off people. So it looks like you're on the same wavelength.
Oh man, it fires me up. It fires me up. I'll have like back to back to back, and it's just flying by, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Me, it's the impact that you can have on someone. And I could have a bad day, but then I read the messages from my students to say, well, that thing that you said the other day, like it opened up some other opportunities for me. It changed my life. I'm so thankful that you're here. So those things are what's fulfilling for me, and it's kind of what you did to us. So I feel the same way.
I love that. And look, I want people to get something out of this interview, right? So I want you to share with us tips, maybe three tips, whether they're part of WealthGenius or not. Maybe they're just watching this YouTube channel or this podcast, and there's certain things that they can do right now. So what are three, I'll ask both of you, but I'll start with Luis. What are 3 tips that you can offer someone to get started?
Get a coach. Get a mentor.
Look for someone that has done it before.
And still doing it, hopefully.
Yeah.
And loves to do it. And stay coachable. Because it's one thing to get the coach and then you're just not really drinking the Kool-Aid.
You're trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. That's just going to waste their time and your time. So I think getting a coach is staying coachable.
I love that. Stay coachable, right? And then number 3?
It's kind of along the same vein, and that's become a master or an addict of being comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Some people say that fear is a motivator. Yeah, fear could be part of that discomfort.
Yeah.
But if you're part of a big community of other like-minded individuals, it is the secret, in my opinion, to remaining comfortable being uncomfortable, because everybody's kind of like walking hand in hand, walking through the fire or coals or whatever metaphor you want to use, and everybody's doing it at the same time. And then everybody can congregate and share stories and pick each other up, and move together in unison.
Yeah. Love it. 3 tips.
3 tips. So find someone that has what you want and just learn, immerse yourself and learn from them. And number 2, be careful who you listen to. If you focus more what's going on in the media, I don't know, it's better to be surrounded by people that have what you want, and you focus on that, and you focus on your growth. And also, you don't know what you don't know. Nobody knows everything. Everybody's here to grow. So everybody's like here to learn. So you've never fulfilled your full potential. You can always grow and learn. And if you use those words, I know, then
you're done. You're toast.
You're done. You're toast. Last but not least is invest in yourself. So easy to pay for that university degree. I didn't have to think twice about it because we're programmed that that's the way to go. But when it's time to invest in yourself, people have a lot of problems to trust themselves that they can invest in themselves and grow.
I love it. I love it. You know, there's always these little nuggets of inspiration that we all find in life. There's certain quotes that when you hear them, you're like, whoa, I get it, you know? For example, mine was from Jim Rohn. Success is what you attract by the person you become. When I heard that quote, it's like, I get it. It was like, I could see the light. You know, it was like the light switch went on in my mind. So, do you have quotes like that? Like, do you have phrases, proverbs, or, you know, maybe a moment? You know, what was it for you?
Well, lately it's been at the end of the boot camp, you say, in 5 years from now, you will have arrived.
Yes.
You know? And who will that be?
Yeah.
And we're coming up on that 5-year anniversary of when all this started, before it was even WealthGenius. And like I get kind of emotional about it, because I didn't dream all this, but I did dream a feeling. You know, I did have that feeling, and has it exceeded my expectations? Heck yeah, it has. You know, but when I hear that quote, it really like screams at me now.
I love it.
For me, it's just a few simple words like take that leap of faith. And again, it goes back to what you mentioned yesterday at the boot camp. Just believe in yourself and take that leap of faith that you can do better, you can be more, you can do more. Because we're on this earth and not to be average. When my dad came here into Canada to give us an opportunity to be in a prosperous country, like I cannot just be average. No, I can't.
We didn't come here to be average.
I can't.
Yeah, I love it. Both of you guys are inspiring, you know, and you inspire me, and you're leaders within this organization, and thank you. I'm grateful for you and your contributions to the people that we lead, right? I mean, that's a huge responsibility that we have, and I know you don't take it lightly. How can people connect with you?
Come to the boot camp.
WealthGenius.ai.
Yeah,
come connect with you at the boot camp, and, you know, YouTube channel.
Yeah. Rivas Real Estate Investments on YouTube. Yeah.
Nice.
Just follow the best dressed guy, and that's the only way to find me. It's pretty easy to do, so that's the best way to find me.
I love it. So, guys, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Love you.
This was fun. This was a lot of fun. It was like brought me back down memory lane. And that's it. Alfonso loves you, and we'll see you all at the top. Woo!
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Genius Podcast. If you have a question or comment about something you heard today, reach out to the Godfather via social media or email him anytime. All that information is in the show notes. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Wealth Genius Podcast. The Wealth Genius Podcast. Until next time, see you at the top.